Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back. Today I'll be continuing to paint this Contemptor Dreadnought here. I have most of the model done at this point, with a bunch of kind of interesting effects, like the plasma glow. I did some freehand checkers on the foot and on the shoulder. I did the chest in an interesting like non-metallic metal effect. And so now I'm just kind of finishing up the last couple of things, which includes like the metallic trim. I'm gonna do some work to make that a bit more interesting, and of course this knee pad that I haven't done anything with. Another day, another Painting Sloth stream. Big W. Thank you, King Wolf. It's good to see you again. Did you happen to make it out to the game store, or are you going later today? Hey, that's awesome. What'd you end up getting? Yeah, that's really cool. A lot of times it's fun to go out to events just to see people's armies. A lot of people put a lot of time and effort into those, and they look really good. Got the Company Heroes pack and some paint. Nice. The Company Heroes. Those are some cool models, if I remember correctly. Nice. Yeah, that sounds super exciting. Alright. I was about to pull out some paints, because I realized I did not pull these out beforehand, which is a little silly of me. You're really tempted to going with Deathwatch? You saw a dope Chaos Demon? I have to see who it was. Cool, cool. Yeah, Deathwatch is cool. Sadly, I think they just recently like stopped being an army. I think they got folded into like the rest of the Imperium, which is kind of cool because it means that you can run like individual Deathwatch squads, like with your other armies. But it does mean that having a full Deathwatch army isn't really a thing anymore. Yeah, the Deathwatch has some really cool lore and just like really cool models in general, so I approve. These are all great models that you were looking at. Actually, I'm going to take off my watch too because it was getting in my way. So I'm going to start off with some brown paint to start glazing in a little bit of brown into this metal. The goal here is to make the metal look a bit worn, a bit like antique. And we're just going for subtle color changes here, so the effect might not be immediately obvious, but hopefully after we build up some layers, it'll look cool. I'm gonna be glazing in both. Oh, it was Angron. That is a very cool model, I have to say. The yeah, the Chaos Demon for the World Eaters, I think, if I remember correctly. The red and gold he used just really popped. Yeah, red and gold is a great color combination. Yeah, I never really got into Chaos Demons, but they're very cool models for sure. Not that there are many Games Workshop minis that are, you know, not cool. Even if you don't play the tabletop, painting the minis is really cool. I agree. You know, the tabletop game is it takes a long time, and so I don't often have the time to play the game, but I do really enjoy painting the minis. So I'm in a similar boat where even if I don't get to play, it's a great hobby because I really enjoy painting. Although I am looking to get into like some skirmish games like Kill Team and what's it called, Warcry is for Age of Sigmar. They're games that, you know, take like an hour to an hour and a half, and they and it's only like 12 models, I think, at most. So you know, it's a lot easier to build up a force, and it's quicker to play. So I'm thinking I might get into that, so that I, you know, I don't have to dedicate 4 hours minimum to play a game of like 40K. So yeah, you can see I'm working with very thin paint here, and this is kind of the technique that you use to get very smooth blends between your colors and like very subtle effects. This is very different from like base coating and layering, where the goal is to, you know, get solid coverage and change the color completely. The goal of this is to just like apply a filter, like a color filter, over parts of the model. Yeah, mostly it increases like the depth of your paint job. Makes it a little bit more interesting. You can use it to like further accentuate details. Alright. Now I'm going to start to come in with a little bit of purple. Doing the same kind of thing, just even a little bit more reserved. A little bit less surface area I'm painting here. Hello. What do you think about Space Bears? You mean like the the Space Marine chapter? Cool. I think they're really cool. I haven't seen a lot of them. I have seen what's the channel? I think Tabletop Time, I want to say, is doing a custom like Space Bears army that is really cool. I've been kind of following their progress, and I think it's really cool. I haven't seen much like in terms of story or lore, so I can't speak much to that. Have you looked much into Space Bears? Are you a Space Bears collector? check my Instagram. We've got some done, but working on more. Hey, that's awesome. Thank you for the follow. Is it just is it the same as your Twitch handle? You're awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Awesome. I'll have to check out your Instagram when I'm done here. You just followed my Instagram? I appreciate that. Yeah, I've been trying to post, you know, my more recent work there. I'm trying to build like a library of models I've painted on my Instagram. So. Yeah, it's always nice to you know, you're slacking on Instagram posts. Yeah, I mean same. Some of these painters that I see on Instagram, they got like, yeah, just whole libraries of models that they've painted, and I'm like, wow, I gotta get on that. I gotta get painting, huh? The Lionel Johnson one is hella cool. Thank you. Yeah, that was a model that I did for a painting contest, and so that's kind of I was like the peak of my painting ability. So, and I'm currently, you know, trying to work and, you know, push past that level, because I would like to get into some more painting competitions. So yeah, that's part of the reason why I'm doing so much on this like random Contemptor Dreadnought. So I'm like trying to get better. Trying to work on some more advanced techniques. Painting sloth #1. I appreciate it. Thank you. So I upped the or I made a less diluted mixture of the brown and the purple that I was using. I was getting a bit impatient. The effect wasn't coming in as quickly as I wanted, so I upped the amount of paint I'm using just to get a little bit extra oomph. Again, just trying to make the metal look more antique, make it look older. All this work that I'm doing shading will also give me more room when I start highlighting. So I'm, you know, just boosting the contrast of these metallic bits. And of course I completely forgot about the arms. I was so focused on doing the body that I completely forgot about all the metallic bits that are on the arms. Can I get it to focus? And part of the reason that these kinds of glazes work so well on metallics is because they tend to take away a bit of the sheen of the metallic paint. And so not only are you building up contrast with you know, light and dark colors, you're also building up contrast with like shiny versus not shiny, matte finishes, I guess. Although I think matte is different than metallic sheen. I'm not quite sure what the opposite of metallic is. Oops. All right. Yeah, metallics are also fun because it's another way that you can add in additional colors, like subtly add in, like I'm adding in purple here. Yeah, it's just an interesting way to add colors into your miniature in a very subtle way that makes them quite interesting to look at. Alright, I think that's about it for glazing. I think it's appropriately shaded. But now I need to come in back in with the metallic paint and kind of touch up some of the areas that need to be re-highlighted, and then I can come back in with a brighter metallic color start doing formal highlighting. Especially these rivets that I was applying the wash over should be shiny. Some of these edges here. Apply a nice thin edge highlight. And especially as we start to get towards like the top center of the miniature. This is, where we've decided the focal point should be, around the wings on the chest. And so we're going to take extra time to highlight the metallics in this area to make sure that it kind of matches the amount of effort that we put into the center of the chest. This is what we want people to look at, so we're going to make it look good. Oh. Model slipped a little bit. Just want to make sure I didn't get any metallic where it shouldn't be. I think I'm good, luckily. Alright. Alright, I can move on to the brighter highlight color here. I'm watching a Grey Knights versus Tyranids. Yeah. All the swarms of Tyranids from Space Marine 2. Those are actually terrifying. My goodness. I've learned to respect and fear Tyranids from playing that game. Wish you could post pictures in here. Yeah. Twitch chat can be a little limiting sometimes. This final highlight color, I think it's just pure Stormhost Silver. Just looking to place it in a few areas. Very, very small, like, point highlights. Just to really drive home the metallic properties. Of some of these pieces. Alright. I think that's about it for the metallics. Just a little bit of work in shading and highlighting the metallics just to get some extra interest into some of those components. A little extra color, a little extra highlighting. I think the last kind of major component that I have to get done is this knee pad in front that I've been ignoring for like the last 2 days because I don't quite know how I want to do it. I guess I was planning on doing like a kind of a glow effect around the eyes, but I'm also unsure as to how I'm going to do that, so things that I've been putting off. You taking suggestions? Sure. What you got? In the meantime, I think I'm going to put on a decal here. I got these decals where I'm looking at this number right here. As the first Legion, definitely gotta rep the first Legion here. I think I'm gonna put a big ol' 1 right here on the right shoulder. I was looking at some of these other Dark Angel symbols, and I don't know, it'd be kind of hard to fit one in. I don't know, maybe I could fit a smaller one on this left shoulder pad here. Let's see. I am gonna varnish these areas before I start messing around, just to make sure I'm not pulling up any of my paint. Just a nice thin coat of varnish here. Were you gonna give any suggestions, or just asking if I'm taking them? All the gold? Oh no. See, the only thing is, there's no other gold on the model. More stickers. Yeah, I do enjoy the transfers. I'm thinking, I'm thinking, the one here, maybe a Deathwing. Although I don't know if the Deathwing was around in the Horus Heresy. That might be blasphemy. I don't know. Or heresy. We'll stick with the proper terminology. A campaign marking would be cool. Maybe I'll make this this Dreadnought a lieutenant. They're your favorite part? Yeah, I agree. I think it's a nice finishing touch that can really like add a lot to your models for not a lot of work, actually. I'll go ahead and cut out the one. Sounds good. I'll see you in a little bit. If I can get this out. It's like I'm not cutting all the way through, maybe? Alright, there we go. Alright, so the way that you get these decals to go on nice and smoothly, you take a little bit of say setting solution for decals. It's called microset, and you just paint a little bit on the area that you're gonna add the decal to, and you let it dry. It dries fairly quickly. But still gotta wait a little bit. It's also got kind of a fun smell, so I'm gonna turn on a fan here. Let me prime the other area that I was thinking about adding a detail to, or a decal to. Just to get that drying process started. Put the model in front of the fan. Dry faster. Alright. And you take the decal, you get some more micro set on your brush. Oh no, I dropped it. Hold the very small piece of paper very carefully. Some tweezers. And you just kind of brush it on here. And you can kind of move it around as you want, just like continuing to get some micro set on your brush. And you can kind of position the decal how you want it, as long as there's kind of enough micro set for it to like float around in. And there you go. We got a nice First Legion marking, and we didn't even have to freehand the fancy ass script. Although I'm trying to line it up, like get it parallel with the bottom of the armor panel. It's kind of hard to tell. I mean, maybe that's good enough. I'll leave it for now. And then you let that dry fully. And then you come in with the micro sol. And what this does is there's a little like plastic film around the decal. And what this does is it dissolves that plastic film to better fit the decal to the surface, and it makes it so it doesn't look like a sticker. It looks like it has like a painted on kind of effect, which is really cool. So yeah, these two solutions make putting on decals really consistent, and it makes them look really good. And if I remember correctly, they're not too expensive. Let's see if I can balance this guy with some paint pots while I go in for another decal here. Just a white Dark Angel symbol here, I think. Maybe I would like to do the red ones, but the red ones are all Deathwing, and I'm pretty sure Deathwing came after the Horus Heresy, but I'll have to I don't know, fact check that. I think this one will fit. Put a little bit of water on that so it comes off the paper. I would also like to use some of these transfers here. These are the new Dark Angels transfers from, that they just recently came out with. And they have some cool, like, some cool lettering, like Caliban here, which is the home world of the Dark Angels. Yeah, just in general, some interesting words. Again, in the super fancy script that I would never be able to freehand in my life. Ooh, maybe I should have gone with this one. It's kind of just a cooler Dark Angel symbol with like a little iron halo on the top. We'll see. I'll put the decals on and reevaluate. Uh-oh. I misjudged. Might just be a little bit too big here. Well, you know what? We'll go over the lines. That's okay. Make sure it looks centered. And not lopsided. Something like that. See, this one is fully dry, and if you look closely, you can see the kind of the plastic film that I'm talking about. That's what we're targeting with this microsol. You just want to get a little bit painted on. You don't want to touch it too much, because if you touch it too much with the microsol, you can move the decal around, and then all that time you spent making sure it was lined up properly is all gone to waste. So you got to be a little gentle with it, and if it's not fully dissolved, you just go in with a second layer again once it's fully dried, because you don't want to be touching it too much. Alright, as for the knee pad, I think I've been delaying long enough. I think I'm just going to do a gradient, kind of top down, for like the background, and then a gradient again on the lion. Nothing too crazy, a little bit simple. But hopefully it'll look good. Not gold. Yep, sorry. Maybe the next model will have some gold on there. Trying to think about what I'm planning on painting next. See if that's a true statement. Looks like our microsol didn't quite do enough. So I'll do a little bit more here. Oops. There you go, just a nice gradient for the white. We're going to do the same thing for the red here. Checking back in. I don't know who's winning or losing. Yeah, a lot of games of Warhammer can get kind of crazy, where people models are just getting taken off the board left and right. Alright, and the final step for decals is just to go over with a matte varnish. Just to get everything to be the same same finish. Really integrate the decal into the model. Now eventually I will do like a matte varnish over the entire model. Just to again make sure that everything is the same finish. Tends to make your model look a bit better. It also protects the model. Yeah, just from wear and tear, people's grubby fingers, my grubby fingers. So you can see now that the decal is fully integrated into the model. You can't see any like there's no plastic film. It's the same finish. It's not like standing off the model in any way. The one thing that I will do is I actually There's a little divot right here. I'm actually going to shade where the decal goes into the divot. Hello, Camille. How's it going? Just kind of doing some finishing touches on this Contemptor Dreadnought here. Oh, it's good to hear that you're doing well. I am also doing quite well. And as you can see, I'm almost done with this model. It's looking good. I'm feeling good. So I've never, I know some people like to paint the decals. And I've never done it before, but you know, I'm feeling good, so we'll see if I can add a bit more interest and depth to this decal, because compared to the rest of the model, it's looking a little flat. So we'll see if we can make it look a bit more interesting, maybe. I wish I was good at freehanding. Yeah, me too. I have to rely on these transfers as well. But you know, it's something that you just kind of got to work at. You know, I freehanded these checkers, and it's been, you know, I've been doing checkers for a while now, and I'm getting pretty good at it. So it's one of those things where, you know, the more you practice, the better you get. Checkers are up, you know, like checkers, stripes, simple patterns are a good place to start, because they're, you know, fairly simple shapes. To kind of build your confidence and experience in freehanding. Alright, now let's see if I can do something to this one here without ruining it. What chapter is this guy? This is a part of the Dark Angels, but it's the Horus Heresy era Dark Angels. So a little bit older. Yeah. Salamanders are the better green boys in armor? You know, I also really like salamanders, but I've never collected them because I'm too busy collecting Dark Angels. But they are really cool. I don't know if I can fully agree with they're the better green boys in armor, but I can't say I think they are really cool. They are literal units, yeah. I mean, they just come in with all the flamethrowers, and they're like, "Yep, we're just gonna torch you." So yeah, have fun with fire. They are the "this is fine" meme where a dog is in the burning house. Yeah. That's a pretty apt description. Yeah, because they're a nocturne fighting drakes. Yeah. They got some cool lore. Of course, they're in green power armor, which is great. Gotta love green power armor. All right. And the Black Dragon Successor chapter is theirs too. You know, I haven't heard of the Black Dragon Successor chapter, but it sounds badass. Definitely sounds like an awesome successor chapter. So a little bit of work on the of painting on the one. I think it looks better. I'll have to see if I can do oh my god. They grow bones like Wolverine claws on their wrists? That's insane. They like melee? That's cool. Hey, Games Workshop. Give me these monies. Or give me these models. I'll give you my money. I want some Wolverine Space Marines. Get the Leviathan box and snip the claws and then glue them on. That's a good tip. That sounds like it worked really well, actually. Especially considering like how much value you get out of the Leviathan box. The magical thing called the three-dimensional printer. I do have a 3D printer. I would definitely need someone else to create the files, though. I am not much of a 3D modeler. What am I doing now? So I decided that the decals looked a little flat, especially compared to the rest of the model. So I've been kind of shading the decals Oh yeah, we're also talking about why salamanders are the best, apparently. But yeah, I'm just kind of working through shading these, trying to shade these decals to give them a bit more dimension. Colts 3D has a lot of good free models and bits like backpacks and banners. For the what are they called? The Black Dragon Successor Chapter? Oh yeah, yeah. I found some good stuff off of Colts 3D as well. They're definitely a good resource for um, 3D sculpts. Sheesh! And a 40k knight with a huge Warhammer. Let's go. You love to see it. And I was smart to print the skeleton last. So you got a bunch of armored pipes and guns laying around on your desk. That's funny. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of pieces that really take up a lot of space. You got a tray where everything is laying next to the 3D printer. Yeah, it's pretty important, especially if you're 3D printing, to have a kind of a tray like that. Make sure you kind of keep the keep all the resin contained, especially if it's not fully cured yet. All right, a little bit of extra work on the decals, just to make them a little bit more interesting, make them fit a little bit better with the rest of the model. Your first mega project will be a Space Marine cosplay. That sounds really cool. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be doing that with my 3D printer. Mostly I just do little bits to help augment my models, make them look cooler. Nothing too crazy. Yes, it's salamanders. Of course, of course. uh... And of course I forgot to paint the bottom knee pad. It's okay, we're gonna remedy that real quick with just a little bit of just a solid color. Make sure I'm not gonna spend too much time on it because it's well, no one's gonna see it ever. But just enough so that it's not unpainted. Alright, getting towards the end of my stream here, and I'm pretty much done with the model. I think one of the only things that I would do is a little extra work on the eyes to get them glowing, like get a nice glowing effect on the eyes. I think that'd be cool. Otherwise, yeah, this is ready to call this done. So, yeah, I had a lot of fun today, and I hope you all did too. I'm streaming again tomorrow, same time slot. So, yeah, hopefully I'll see you then. Bye.